March 1st marks the first day of our season-long tournament, and every day thereafter, I'm out there trying to catch a big fish, a fish big enough to make it into my top 10. Enjoy the ride as I chronicle how I caught each one of these fish. I'm going to share with you everything. Well, as per usual, I struggle in the months of March and April to catch any large fish, so my first fish that made it into the top 10 didn't come till mid-May. I'm fishing Pine Lake, which is just outside of Issaquah, and this is one of those lakes that warms up pretty early, and it's got the spawn going on pretty hot and heavy, and you can see these fish on the beds all over the place. Earlier in the morning, I'd actually hooked this fish on a wacky worm, and it got off. So I ended up leaving it and coming back in the afternoon, and I started fishing a drop shot in the afternoon. When I was fishing that wacky worm, I noticed that this fish was swiping at it a lot. So I thought, well, maybe a minnow patter might be more successful. So I put on a drop shot, and yeah, it was. It worked out perfectly. That fish picked it up, and I laid into it. What a fish. What a freaking fish. At this point, I'm going to point out, this is the biggest largemouth I've ever caught. This is easily a personal best for me. It's only 19 and a half, but it's still the best one I've ever caught. So I am just so excited. Okay, baby, you can go back in the water. What a fish. On this day, I really resolved that I was going to spend all of my time fishing a wacky worm and jigs, and I was going to really concentrate on the shallows. And I'm not sure why. I must have seen a YouTube video or something, but that's what I had planned on doing, and that's what I did. And yeah, I found this really nice fish underneath this dock. With a little more experience, I've learned that I really like the Senko, the actual Gary Yamamoto Senko. It just has the best shimmy on a weightless fall of any of the stick baits on the market. But in this case, before I learned that, I was fishing the Berkeley General with the Maxcent. It does pretty well. It's got a pretty good shimmy as well, and it's the only other one that I will use. But I do like the Senko better. Oh, yeah. That is a fish. Get out of here, sweetie. Wow, what a fish. That fish remains my personal best smallmouth. It was 20 and a quarter, and that was the biggest one I caught all year. Hopefully next year we'll get a bigger one. Note, I'm standing up here. I had just caught a really nice smallmouth, and I stood up to look around at the docks around me, and I saw this really nice largemouth that was like 10 or 15 feet from me. And I tried to cast my wacky worm in front of him, but of course I missed completely, and it landed about 5 or 6 feet behind him. That fish whirled around and swam right over there and engulfed that wacky worm on the fall. So that was really an exciting catch, and even though this is the smallest fish that I caught in my top 10, it was a lot of fun to catch this fish. Yep, you can see in the fish picture there the Yamamoto Senko package. So this was an honest to goodness Yamamoto Senko. To be clear, we've been going in chronological order here. And this is the fourth fish that I've caught, and it is the fourth ranked fish. It took me nearly a month to catch this fish from the previous fish, but the Yamamoto Senko was still producing. I'm fishing under docks with the Senko, and I catch a really nice fish right here. He's a serious bruiser of a smallmouth. What a friggin' fish. Holy cow. Look at the size of this fish. Oh, it's one of the smallest docks I fished off of today. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a monstrosity here. It probably just looks bigger because the previous fish I caught was 14.5 inches, but this is a nice fish right here. Okay, I think I got you. Ow, asshole. Look at that fish. Oh my gosh. That is a hell of a fish right there. Alright, lady, get out of here. This fish is an honorable mention, and it's really unfortunate because this fish would have scored second biggest in my arsenal. It was a super nice fish. Very big fish, I can tell you that. And yeah, this fish was caught also on a Senko, and I was just so thrilled right here because I was also in a monthly tournament, and this fish is it would have propelled me into third place. But you see right here, that petal obscures the very tippy top of that fish, and that was enough to get it rejected. Unfortunately, if that fish had counted, he'd have got me within a half an inch of being in the top 10. But these things happen, so lessons learned, and hopefully you can learn from me. Okay, let's get back on track here. Once again, I'm out here on Lake Sammamish. It is mid-70s out, and the water temp is also in the mid-70s. And once again, I'm skipping a wacky worm under docks. Just a quick note here. This fish was caught on an overcast day, flipping a wacky worm under docks, and it made it into my top 10. All the other fish that I caught doing this technique were on relatively sunny, hot days. So I guess the best conditions that you can fish in are the ones where you catch the big fish. Okay, we're halfway through here. So we've caught 5 fish that were in my top 10. Now let's just quickly go through them. So the first fish that we caught was a 19.5-inch largemouth, and although it bit a Senko initially, I ended up ultimately catching it on a minnow donned drop shot. So that was caught on a gulp minnow. Then the next one was a 20.25-inch smallmouth. That was caught on a wacky worm. The next one was an 18-inch largemouth, and that was caught on a wacky worm. Then there was a 19.5-inch smallmouth, and that was caught on a wacky worm. Then the honorable mention was a 20-inch smallmouth, and that was caught on a wacky worm. Then the next one was an 18 and 3/4 inch smallmouth, also caught on a wacky worm. So now you can see why I say that my confidence bait is a wacky worm. The Senko's total dominance, though, is about to come to an end. So we're in July now, July 15th, and I had noticed, even back on Lake Sammamish, that the effectiveness of skipping docks with the Senko was really starting to wane. I wasn't seeing a whole lot of fish catches doing that anymore. And this is on Lake Osoyoos, and I started trolling with a square bill, and that's how I caught this fish. I've said it before, but these fish in Lake Osoyoos, man, they just fight like maniacs. And this fish was no different. It's actually really quite difficult to get him to the boat. But we managed to pull it off, and yeah, it was a real nice fish. 19 inches. And it turned out that it was a real struggle to get this fish measured and get a picture of him. He just would not sit still. Very wiggly fish. And you can tell my frustration with this fish as I toss him overboard. Get out of here. Well, on the following day in Lake Osoyoos, with nearly identical conditions and the exact same bait and the exact same technique, trolling a square bill, I hooked into a really nice fish. Another one. And you know what? It's almost identical to the previous day's fish. It was also 19 inches. So yeah, that was some consistency right there. Well, we're back home, Lake Sammamish, and we're fishing on the north end.
Seems like a decent fish. It is a decent fish. Holy, it's a decent fish. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy goodness. Look at that thing. Oh, that's going to help me for the season long too. Oh, you beautiful babe, you. Oh my goodness. When it jumped, I said, geez, that looked like a largemouth. It can't be a largemouth. Not out here. Well, yeah, it is. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't tell you. Wow.
I suppose you could probably tell from my reaction here, but this fish is a new PB for me. It scores 19 3/4 inches, and it was on the last day of the Lake Lunkers tournament, so it helped me place in that tournament, and obviously it helps me with the season tournament as well. So really nice fish. I caught it in about 25 feet of water, and just for reference, the Osoyoos fish were both in about 15 feet of water.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. Oh, holy Toledo. Okay, one last picture there, buddy.
Turns out my last day of fishing is October 7th for 2024. But what a day it was.
Got a fish. And it's a largemouth. A good size largemouth too, by the looks of him. I hope it's not the same one I caught the last time I was here. Hey buddy, how you doing? I don't think he is. Definitely not the same one. Oh, it's a 19-incher. Hopefully I can get a picture of him before he freaks out.
Like I said, it was a great day. This is my second top 10 fish that I got on the line here. And I caught this within 30 minutes of the previous one and within about 30 yards of it. All right, let's do a quick review of how we did in the second half. So in July, we caught a smallmouth bass on Lake Osoyoos. It was 19 inches, and that was caught on a square bill trolling. Then the next one was caught the next day, also on a square bill trolling. Then let me point out that between the middle of July all the way up till the end of September, September 30th, I didn't catch another top 10 fish in that entire time frame. It's really difficult to catch fish in that time frame, but I did catch some. They just weren't quite big enough, but I didn't catch very many of them. So the next fish was caught on September 30th, and I spent the entire month of September trying to catch big fish and really struggled. But I did catch this guy. He was 19 3/4, and I caught him on a deep diving crankbait in about 25 feet of water. Then about a week later, I caught one on a jig in about 25 feet of water. It was another largemouth. It was 19 inches, nice fish. 30 minutes later, I caught one that was nearly identical to that one, also 25 feet of water, also with a jig. Well, now you have the story of my top 10 fish. I agree, I have some room for improvement. I could catch some really big fish. None of these are really big whoppers. They're all just really nice fish. I want to point out that on the first half of the year, I caught almost everything on a Senko in shallow, like 2 to 10 feet of water. And then in the second half, I caught fish primarily 25 feet and deeper and with reactionary baits. So there you go. That's what I've learned. I hope this helps you, and I appreciate you guys stopping by to check out the video. As always, have a great rest of your day. Please like, subscribe, and share.